Zen in a Moment, episode 50 with Zen Cryer DeBruck. What I've been thinking about lately and working on for myself, and I'm probably going to turn it into a program, is grievances. I have really worked hard on the larger grievances in my life, the ones that were loud and kind of take over my world when they're happening. Family members, I've reported several times that my dad and I had a rough start until I was about in my early 30s, and we figured it out. And so I, on a regular basis, have been clearing out grievances as they happen using my internal guidance system. It's one of the things that's powerful is that you'll close if you have a grievance, and you have the tools with your IGS to work through them and transform them. So I was thinking for a long time that I was pretty good on the forgiveness scale, forgiving myself and the people in my life. And then I did this program, and in there they had us look at grievances. And I thought to myself, I don't really have any grievances, and I closed. Yay! Closing means that what I'm thinking is not true or not going to happen. So what that means is that I do have grievances. So I started going back and looking, and I found a lot of grievances that had occurred and that I still had in my body before I started really using the internal guidance system. And so what I found was pretty astonishing, and I want to share it with you because these things drag us down energetically. These things are these grievances. And so I went back, and it's like I had grievances as a child, as like a kid with a neighbor kid, that if I would think about the kid and how they treated me, I have this tight, angry, hard feeling in my body. All the way through, I just went through, elementary school and middle school and high school and in my early 20s, and I had grievances around people that had taken advantage of me financially. I had grievances around bosses that I had when I was younger and how they treated me. I had grievances with friends that I felt that they had betrayed me. And I was able to go through, and it's interesting because you'll feel it. Like, think about somebody. Think about, and I don't care where they are in your history. I want you to think of someone that you have an issue with. Someone that if they came walking down the grocery store aisle and you were on that aisle, you would feel trapped and wish that you weren't there. It'd be a very uncomfortable situation. That's a grievance. That is a grievance. And we even have grievances against ourselves, things that we've done, right? That we regret, things that, choices we've made, maybe not taking a risk or taking too big of a risk and feeling really dumb and upset and angry at yourself. And clearing out grievances is a very important aspect of who we are. On the other side of grievances is forgiveness. And forgiveness, I believe, is really not only about the person that you're forgiving, but also the forgiveness for yourself. What do I mean by that? Well, it takes two in any grievance to have the grievance. And you may feel like, no, that person definitely did me wrong, but how are you in a position for them to do you wrong? How did you get yourself into that position? Now, I understand that out of the blue, something violent or awful can happen to people. I understand that. I do not believe that. I do believe that we participate in everything voluntarily, but it doesn't feel like that at the time. That there's a lesson to be learned. There's something important. And rising above the victim consciousness is part of what these things are there to do. But also, in these grievances, the forgiveness part for yourself is releasing the energy of the grievance from the body. Like when I think of some of these grievances, I immediately have a pang inside of me, an energy inside of me that is, and it happens really quick. I started writing down people that I could think of in my past, and I would sit with my internal guidance system, and it's called doing a forensic. It's in Stress to Happiness. our program at Smart Soul Academy. What happens is that you go back through the lens of your internal guidance system and the openings and closings and neutrals, and you're able to see things from a different perspective. You're able to release things. We are all doing our very best on this planet. I know that when I have been at my worst, and it still happens to me, I get all worked up about something, I am still doing the very best I could do in that moment. Even if I'm not happy with how I'm doing it, even if it's not working well, even if I feel like I've tried or wanted to stop something and it keeps happening. For me, luckily, it's less and less. The duration of the behavior that I don't like doing is short because I catch myself quickly using my IGS. I can feel it. Mostly. I mean, I don't have things that go on for days. I have things that go on for 15 minutes to maximum an hour, and then I'm working on it. I'm actually actively working on it using my tools for the IGS. You can go back and sit and look at the situation and being like, that kid or that person who took advantage of me financially, or something that your family members did, or a dear friend, a betrayal, and you can sit and use your IGS to release it. You sit and you think about the grievance, and you'll feel the closing, and you look at the thinking that you have in that grievance. The thinking around what you believe happened. And if it closes you, it's not true. And if it opens you, it is true. But then you can look at it you can own it. Yes, this happened. It wasn't right. I'm open that my thinking about this is true. And very rarely do you get an opening because it wouldn't be a grievance. Parts of it may open you, parts of your thinking may open you, but there's something in there that's closing you that's not true. So I want you to look at this. I don't want you to, slam yourself over it, but look at this and the grievances that you have and release them. It can actually be as simple as, I'm not hanging on, I forgive that person. And that energy leaves. But we have to bring it to consciousness. We can't just let it sit in our body where it can be triggered any time at the thought of that person. All right. So sit down, write out people or note them as they come up. When you have that feeling of grievance, that feeling that somebody did you wrong, any of that kind of energy, in the moment, just release it. I'm not going to hold on to that anymore. I'm going to let that go. Get rid of as many as you can, because they're holding you back in your physical energy. These are little places in your mind's way of thinking where you're closed, and it's harming you. You also will release the other person. It's like you're tied together because of the grievance. So in releasing them, you release yourself and you gain your energy back. All right, I'm sending you love and blessings. I hope you have a great week. Mwah. If you are enjoying listening to the Zen in a Moment mini podcast, I want to invite you to something where you can get even more juicy, amazing content. I'd love to invite you to join the Fear Free Human Collective. It is a community membership site where I do training, coaching, I do mini masterclasses and masterminds and share all kinds of amazing content. And it's super affordable, and we have amazing people that are in it working on finding their openings when they are closed. It is a really lovely place to kind of have a respite from the world where cancer culture is running rampant and people are not getting along. If you want to go somewhere where people are not only getting along, but they are having a blast and sharing wins on how their life is dynamically changing by using their internal guidance system, then this is the place to go. Simply go to BeFearFreeNow.com. That URL again is BeFearFreeNow.com, and you will discover how affordable our membership is. We have a free level where you can come on in. Please give us a trial, enjoy it. And then we have levels that are $27, $47, and $97, depending on the level of training and the depth of coaching you want. So come join us. Join this wonderful, incredible movement to create a fear-free human species on this planet. I'd love to have you. Go to BeFearFreeNow.com. I'll see you there.